Welcome to Changing the Mind, my Substack. Very glad to have you here. This is a series of occasional videos that will explain some of the essays that you are receiving, and the interviews or the videos will be especially deep and extensive for people who are paid subscribers. But this one, I'll just summarize the latest one on the paradox of inclusion and exclusion, a compassionate reasoning perspective. Compassionate reasoning is an approach and a methodology to positively changing society with moral subtlety and compassion training. And it is based, there's a book on it from Oxford that I wrote, but this essay is about inclusion and exclusion and the difference between universals and particulars and the way in which society needs universal principles and universal commitments. And that's the basis of a decent democratic society, things that apply to everyone, principles that apply to everyone. But at the same time, we need belonging. We actually need inclusion sometimes, and we need exclusion. We need to be able to relate to each other, therefore, across boundaries. And across boundaries, we find shared moral principles, but we also find a way to have belonging and specialness and uniqueness. So the essay goes into, well, how can that actually occur? And there's a great biological metaphor, a biological analogy, and that is the semi-permeable membrane of the human cell, and of the way in which there are parts of our body that function well together as long as they're separate. Our stomach is crucial to our survival, but the acids in the stomach only belong in the stomach. And the moment that they are somewhere else, they create disaster. And so this is a good metaphor for how we can get along across differences. We have very strong differences culturally, ethnically, geographically, uh, financially between different kinds of people. In our case, different kinds of Americans in the United States. And we know from the wisdom going back thousands of years that helping people across those boundaries is a wonderful way to create bonds and surprising elements of kindness, compassion, and the discovery of shared values and shared goals across those boundaries. This is something we have to think about as we look to how civilization can flourish despite major differences between us. And the fact that this pattern of inclusion and exclusion is a typical way in which life proceeds on the planet, in which human life proceeds. But it is up to us to find ways to be inclusive as well as also recognize the differences that we may have. So enjoy reading the essay. And for those of you who are paid subscribers, please send in your questions. And then we're going to have Zoom communities where we occasionally discuss these things in detail and where I can answer questions and also look for further subjects for the blog, so that not the blog, for the uh, community of Substack to become a basis for a shared national and international discussion among those who are the subscribers. So have a great day, and I hope you enjoy the read.